I want to talk about the drawing process. You maybe skip some steps at the beginning. It looks a little bit missing the big proportion. Let's first talk about, and if you decided to not include that much, only include the face, that's just fine, the face and the shoulder. But over here, I'm just going to talk about if you're going to include more other things, like say, the first thing I'm going to do, I would do to see how this is going to connect together. Okay. That's very interesting, like that. And there's the neck, the back coming down like this. You don't want to make the body too thin. So you see this whole motion is coming down like over here. And the front of it divided, just almost half. Like this side a little bit smaller, this side a little bit bigger, like that. That's good. The first thing I want you to draw without measuring. That's right from the beginning. That's very important to get your compositions correctly. Okay, this is how you're going to see, okay, how I'm going to compose this together. And also you want to do a few changes before you move to the next step. Like say, I'm going to move this whole thing a little bit smaller, and maybe make the face a little bit bigger, and all those things, do some experiment. Don't just start something and then, okay, well, next step. First, one step at a time, making that first step solid before you go to the next step. Okay, say if I like this composition and I want to continue from here, what I'm going to do? Okay, that's fine. But this is an assumption that you like these compositions. Normally, when I draw on the paper, I would like to use the vine checker to change a few times. Okay, don't stuck to the first try. Try a couple more times. Okay, now let's see. If this is the top, right? And then this is the chin. The next thing you're going to do, you're making sure the width over here, right, is the width over here according to the height of the face is in the correct proportion. Most people, they forget that. They forget this step. Okay, they just start dividing over here, but however, the big proportion is not even correct. How you can go to the next step, right? So what I'm going to do, how I'm going to measure, I'm going to find a hairline. I'm going to probably measure from the hairline if I want to, like right over here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure, and from the ear over here, I'm going to use the red color. I'm going to measure from the ear over here to the left side, right over here. I'm making sure I have it on the new layer so I can hide it later. So from here to here, if I measure this from here and from the chin coming up, would to be the eyebrows. And you can try it. I just eyeball it, and I think it is correct. So I'm going to pick that and move over. It is approximately the same. So this is very important for you to know. But where is this? So let's divide a little bit more. Like from here, right, to the chin, it looks like the divide into 3, but the lower part is a little bit more. Is that right? It looks like this. The nose to the chin a little bit more than from the eyebrows to the nose and the eyebrows to the hairline. So if this is correct, is do a little thinking. Is that the correct proportion vertically? If that is right, I'm just gonna take this part right over here, right? I'm gonna move it over, and this is right over here. I'm gonna pick that color right over here, and look at it one more time. Look at this, and move over. Maybe a little closer, right over here. That's just right. So you have to do this this step. You don't want to miss this step. If not, the face you're drawing is going to look wider or narrower. It's not going to look like the person you try to draw, right? This is very important. So now we find right over here. In that case, now we already know the eyebrows right over here, and the chin over here, the nose over here. So now we're going to see from vertically. I'm going to erase this part first. Okay, I'm going to erase this part. That's good. Now it's correct. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look from here. So the sideburn would be right over here, right? And the ear would be approximately here, right over here. You can see this sideburn and the ear, right? That's pretty good. Now let's see from this point to here how I'm going to divide it. Let's try it. There's many ways to divide to make something look good. Now you can see this can be 3, 1, 2, 3, but this part have a little more than the other two. So let's remove this. Now I'm going to do from here to divide into 3, about approximately like this. Like this. So let's erase this. Now you can see this part a little more than the other two part. The other part a little more than the other two part. Now this is good. Now what you're gonna do? This is the corner of this nose, and from here to here, you very much can divide into 3. All right, 2 it belongs to the nose, and divide into 3. And this is how you from big go into smaller and smaller and smaller. Now you can see from here, I'm going to the nose right over here, right? And then from the top, from the eyebrows over here to the nose, you can see this, the turning over here. This is 1/3 again. Yeah, here you go, 1/3. And that's how you step by step find the connections. Yeah, right over here, like this, step by step. Okay, coming on this side, you come straight up here is about connect to the eye over here. So that means this shadow side, it come in a little bit into this place and coming through this the eyebrows like that. And I don't need the other two, the other part. I'm going to erase that, and we already find those information. Okay, now at this corner right over here is almost close to the corner over there. So the corner of the eye is about here. And now we already know from the eyebrows to the nose, so 1/3 is about the top of the eye. And because her face kind of lift up a little bit and over here, right? So the eye is just, and this corner coming up is just almost meet the corner of the eye. So it's coming a little bit, and the eye is right in here, like that. And over here too, there's the eye, like that, approximately. You got that. And let's take a look, and from here to the chin, where's the middle? The middle right over here as the lower border of the lower lip. Now, right there. Now you can see from the corner of the nose over here coming down, and this, you can see that is the corner of this inside the mouth over here. And also from here, this corner, and line up with the middle of the iris. So the middle of the iris coming up, coming down over here like this, and become the corner of the mouth, like right there. And here you go. And then let's connect other things. Because her face lift up, so you can see the top of the ear. If you draw a horizontal line right on the lower eyelid, right here, right over here. So this, the ear, let's see, the sideburn will come in over here, right, like that, and coming up like this. And this is the hair, and this is the ear. And the bottom of the ear is almost lined up to the corner of the mouth, even a little bit lower, right over here. Now, where's this part? This part connected over here is the sideburn. Sideburn a little bit more off to the right of the sideburn, like the ear, right, sitting in here. This is the ear. That's the ear sitting in this location. Right. Now from the hairline, now directly coming down with this angle, right, like this. Now coming down, and gradually you connect with the rest of the element. And here you go. Now here, right. Now the jawline over here. This, look at this angle, right, like this, and coming through. And take a look at the face on this side, and turn a little bit, and a little bit rounded, and coming down over here, and now coming to the chin. And you can have a little dimple over here coming through like this. And you can double check with on the vertical, and how you can line that up to the rest of the other element of the face. Now from here, now if you have the extend this tilted line and coming up and coming to the nose. See that? Nose coming from here is going this angle, coming through the chin and coming down right over here. But this is angular measurement. Comparative measurement we use a lot. The angular measurement is very, very helpful. Now coming down like this. Now let's take a look. You can skip that little here. You don't have to capture everything, like the back over here coming through. Like that. This is how you start a drawing, and do a little study on the iPad. If you have an iPad, it would help you to figure out those connections. And if you have a little coffee stick, a little bamboo stick, you can use it to measure right on the iPad surface. And so hopefully this critiques help you. I hope this critique will help you to move on to the next step. For this month, just focus on the measurement, following the step by step. There's many lessons. There are already many lessons in the Enjoying Art Learning Center, Enjoying Art Online Learning Center. Go over to the portrait basics, and you are going to see going into the portrait drawing section. You can see how I go through each step for each lessons, and pay attention to it. It's just not that hard. It's just the step. If you miss a step, most likely you're going to make a mistakes, unless you're lucky. But you're not every time lucky. So we every time just go through the step one, do a free drawing to find out how you're going to lay out, how you're going to compose the element together, how big you want the face to be, how much you want to draw with the body, and all those things is very important to figure it out. And at that step, it's not about measurement. You don't have to include any measurement in that step. But after that, after you know the space that you're going to use, and then you need to start from the biggest connection, figure out the width compared to the height. There's a many ways to find it based on the pose, based on the reference. More you do it, more technique you're going to have to quickly to find out the big proportion between the width and the height. And within the height that is already compared with the width already correctly, and then you're going to divide it into smaller and smaller proportion. Okay. Have fun.